I imagine it's about as tough as it gets.
No, it is not, but it's a tough loss. And in my world, this program, these players, this team, it's my entire life. And so when you look, and it's theirs too. So when you look at it that way, it is painful. But we have baseball ahead of us, and that's where we have to turn our focus. But tough loss. Can't make it. In the context of losing a game, probably as difficult as it could be. But we get an opportunity to move forward, and that's what we have to do.
Does the way the bullpen is set up now with what you have and what you don't have and what guys can do and what they can't do, does it make it sometimes harder to manage it over a span of a weekend?
I'm just going to coach my butt off and do everything I can to help those guys win the game. And, there's guys that didn't execute today that have executed for us. There's guys that are really struggling to find themselves, but it's a team effort. I mean, it's offense, it's defense, it's pitching. We are where we are, and we're going to keep attacking with what we have and figure out a way to come out on the right side of that game, that type of game.
What was sort of thinking behind having Ben DePolt pinch hit there? I think it was in the ninth.
I thought we had to win the game right there. I thought we had to win it right there. I mean, we only had one pitcher that was available after Riley, and that was Thatcher. And I thought that's where we had to win the game. Really, the only scenario that could have happened where they didn't have to pitch to those guys came up. And it could have played out a ton of different ways. If we go 3-1 walk right there, and they got the bunt down, so that was a great job. But if he pulls the bat back, they don't have the opportunity to do what they did, which is why we bunt-taked when they threw 4 balls in a row, and then 2 balls made it 6 in a row, got the count to 3-1. But got a little unfortunate right there. But the way Trey's swinging the bat, he hits that ball a little bit lower, and the game's over. And they had to pitch to him. And Nixon's slider is his deal. And so that was the matchup I thought we were going to win the game with was, Paxton Kling running at second base with Trey, where they can't not do anything but throw him a fastball. And he just got beneath it too far.
What is the biggest takeaway from a series like that?
They're all just no different. They're no different. I mean, that's hard for anybody to maybe understand. But, in this league, and I really believe it's the only league like it, there's no gimmies. And, fortunately for us, we've played ourselves into a really good position, where we have a little margin for error. But we were going for it. I mean, these guys really want to win. And they, guys are cramping up, throwing up, heat exhaustion, all that kind of stuff, and wanting that 5th and 6th at bat. And, I'll take that. I'll take my chances with their talent, with that attitude every day. And we came up short today.
Did Ethan say what he saw, what he did?
Well, I sent him in motion, and, he probably he's a good runner. I mean, he was all the way to second base, but ball gets down, we got a guy at third with 1 out, just the same way they did, and, Paxton's fast. He's not going to hit into a double play. He could safety squeeze. I would do it again. I would do that again every single time.
So Ben's one of the better bunters on the team?
He's the best bunter on the team.
Okay.
Yeah. And obviously with the way Gavin swings the bat, we haven't asked him to do that. I mean, I guess we could have let him stand up there and potentially walk, because Hunt couldn't find the strike zone. So, yeah, we could have done that. But, again, they have to throw a strike to Trey Morgan. And then if they get him out, they have to make a decision. Are they going to throw to Dylan or to Tommy? And literally the only thing that could have happened, to put us in that spot. And then we had a 2-0 count and a guy that's hitting 340 at the plate or something like that. So that was we had to win the game right there. With the way the game played out, with where our pitching was, we had to win the game in that inning, in the bottom half of that inning.
And you never considered pinch hitting for Milazzo at all?
No, because Travinsky was already taken out of the game. Brady is not available to play yet. You're asking Jared or Ethan to go back there, which they can do it, but it would be really unfair. It'd be unfair to them and unfair to the pitcher at this point in time.
And did Hayden come out because of the...
Yeah, he couldn't do it anymore. Yeah, their catcher did too. It's tough environment, and gave us a great series and, played really well. And He's doing a great job, but I'm sure he'll be fine. I haven't seen him, but getting IVs and medical staff taking care of him.
Yeah, you talked a lot this year about the mental strength of the team.
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine this is probably going to be one of the tougher
Yeah.
ones to overcome.
Yeah,
Just with
well,
some-
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. These guys are different than normal people. It might be tough for normal people, but I still don't believe they're normal. And I feel really good about them in terms of competitive character. We lost a tough game, lost a tough series, made mistakes, didn't perform, but we focus on the play. I don't have to focus on the people part of it with them. We got to focus on the play.
Do you think the heat had anything to do with some of the guys coming out of the bullpen?
It's the same for them. And there's a lot of runs on the board today. I'm not going down the excuse thing. Own our performance. Did they sleep enough? Did they drink enough water? Did they eat enough? You'd have to go 9 pitchers that we used. I think go man for man and ask them that. But we've been working on this since we came back from Auburn in terms of hydration and recovery and all of those kinds of things.
Couple more these guys that come here, they know what they signed up for in terms of the expectations, and some people, going to act like the sky's falling after Auburn and this and what happened last night and today. Is it a block out the noise mentality with them and with you?
Yeah, I don't. It has nothing to do with what happens on the field. With all due respect, it just doesn't have anything to do with what happens on the field.
How do you go about trying to boost up the confidence of the bullpen, and what do you look at now as you just kind of reevaluate things going into the final week of the regular season? We got some building up we got to do, but at the same time, the two things that we cannot remove is the pressure of the situation that they're in, and the fatigue of the season. So if that is limiting them, we can't do anything about that. We just got to find out who can pitch and deal with it. But what I try to do is try to get them to channel their best, performance and see what that looked like, feel what it looked like, rep that out, come in the game like that's the outing that they're in. I thought Riley did a really good job today. A lot of the other guys didn't. And they gave us something. Griffin was rolling. Rolling. And we got out of the inning without a run, but it would have been nice to let him go back out for the next inning. Christian got us out of that bases loaded jam, and then, it's a 9-run lead at that point. And trust me, nobody's taking anything for granted with a 9-run lead, but, you got to let him try to go back out there and get a couple outs, and he didn't, and so you just try to keep going until you execute. And we got it to the point where we had the game right there. As bad as the pitching was, we had a chance to win the game, and we didn't. It's a rare sport in that things can look bad or be trending badly, and you can still turn out to be a great season, a championship season. Those the kind of things you think about?
I don't know about that. I do know the 9th place team in the league who should or should not have been in the NCAA tournament last year won a national title. And they won the national title because, they're battle tested and they played well at the right time, and they're a very deserving national champion. I don't know what everybody's standings are this week, but there's not a team that we've played through 9 weeks of this thing that could not be a regional championship team, in my opinion. I really believe that. And so, we've been tested. Everybody in the league's been tested, and I'm sure you'll see the league have success in the NCAA tournament. And so knowing that that's in front of you, there's nowhere to go but forward. You know what I mean? It's not a given to be in the NCAA tournament. It's not. It's not a given to be in the NCAA tournament. And so what you want to have is you want to have confidence and knowing that you've played well enough to win tight games. Okay, I think these guys have done a lot of that. We didn't do it last night with a 2-run lead. We didn't do it today.
it's at the end of the year. So yeah, you'd love to be, clicking on all cylinders and all that. We're not. So we got to go back to the play. And I thought the intent was great. That guy's a major leaguer that was on the mound to start the game today. I mean, that is an electric fastball. I have no idea how he has a 7 ERA. That is special. And I thought Cade Smith last night was really good. I thought he was really, really good. We didn't do a ton with him, but we put ourselves in position to win the game. We found a way to get that guy out of the game early. They brought in their best reliever. We had a lot of runs on the board, and you want to finish those off. The reality of it is we still needed to play well Tuesday and next weekend in the SEC tournament, and then, in the postseason.
In a situation like this with the bullpen, what's Wes Johnson's sort of approach with, trying to get these guys through this tougher time?
He works, and he works, and whether it's strikes, whether it's helping them design a pitch, prepare extra, work with me to match them up as correctly as we can or put them in the best position to be successful. He's an incredibly positive human being, and that's what they need right now. And, that's what we have to be. Leadership, whether it's the pitching coach, the pitching staff, the head coach of the program, you got to do it when it's tough times, and the good part about it is, we're having some tough times right now in a pretty good spot, and really, really, we're just going to keep going. Is it as abnormal as that is?
With Javen, was really good today. Can you just evaluate his performance, and will stretching him out sooner or later be predicated on?
It just depends. He did against Alabama and did a good job, and then had a good inning against Auburn, but then did not recover well after that inning, and we had to get him out of the game. I thought he competed with what he had. I don't think he's fully close to being what he's capable of being yet, but it's good enough for our team right now and good enough to get outs. So I was really proud of him today. And it's an offensive day. It's hot. Ball's jumping out of here, and hold them to one run. Really good performance, and we need it.